All right, cool, great, wonderful.
What's the week been like?
It's been pretty focused. I mean, obviously coming off a loss, gotta lock it back in. Kind of another opportunity to get better and figure out what we were doing wrong in that game, and look forward to this next game.
Does that one take any extra time to let go of?
It's a loss. You got to learn. You learn from it. You watch film on it, and you got to move on to the next one. We've been looking into Oklahoma and trying to figure out what we got to do to make sure we're successful against them. So I think it is what it is, and move on.
What jumped out about OU?
Like last time, they did a good job guarding Och for a portion of the game. We got to make sure that we can get him open, get him better looks at the rim, whether that be screening his man, stuff like that. So I don't know. They play hard. They shoot the ball really well. Gibson shot the ball really well against Tech. We watched that game. And a couple of the guys were with me when we watched it. So they play real hard. They have a bunch of talented guards. They have their talented big guys. So they're a good team.
That's not entirely new with him. You guys have seen Gibson.
Yeah. We've seen him a couple of times, and he really shoots the ball. So he's one of the guys in the Big 12 that, like he did the other night, can go for 30. Just can really heat up, and you got to be careful with guys like that because they can heat up so quick.
Team defense, or one guy locks them up?
Yeah, it's a team thing. I got to make sure that you understand that, hey, this guy is capable of having 30, and he's done it. So we got to make sure we don't let him do that.
Hey, Mitch, do you guys scoreboard watch like the media during the week on what teams in the Big 12 are beating somebody else, and the standings are so tight? I mean, 4 teams within a game and a half. Do you guys watch like we do?
Yeah, we definitely watch. I would say that I think we're watching to make sure we understand the other teams and understand how things are changing, and teams change over the course of a year, and other teams are changing just like we are. So got to understand how they're changing, got to understand what they're doing differently, what we can do differently to combat that, and how we can be most successful. I would say we've adapted. There's been things that we obviously you have guys get hurt, you have guys miss games because of the COVID reasons. Like there's different things that you have to adapt to. I would say we're changing in a good direction. I think the other night we played good enough to win that game, but there was enough opportunities where we didn't take advantage of. But it just goes to show you that, hey, we fix a couple of those mistakes, and then that game can become more in our favor pretty soundly, hopefully. But there's just little things that we can fix that are going to help our team get even farther in the right direction.
Offense, defense?
A little bit of both, but I would say more defensively. We're a pretty good offensive team, so we got to make sure our defense is as good as our offense.
What's the biggest emphasis there right now? It seems like you guys are making some strides, maybe over chunks instead of week to week or day to day.
Yeah, I would say there's a couple different things defensively. Finishing out possessions is a big one. We gotta make sure we do. Not getting caught looking. You get caught looking at the ball and you lose guys. That happened a couple of times. So I think there's all things that we're guilty of. Some different guys, different things, but if we all can work on our own deficiencies, and we'll be better as a team.
Are you expecting teams to play Ochai like Texas did, or they just face guard him no matter where he's at?
I mean, yeah, best player in the nation, you're gonna face guard. So I could see that. It's a challenge for him, but it's a tribute to how other teams respect him, and because he is, like I said, the best player in the nation. So there is no doubt that teams are going to try to do that. It's up to us to make sure we get him open and screen his man and fix that problem for him.
How do you feel like you guys did? You scored 76.
Against Texas, offensively wasn't really our problem. I don't think. I mean, you put up 76 points. That's pretty good. Like, it's got to be defensively. You got to make sure you can limit their opportunities and limit their second chance points and stuff of that nature. Because if we're able to do that, then that'll give us a better chance to win for sure.
How can you make teams pay for doing that?
For face guarding Och,
Yeah, right.
it spreads the floor so much for other guys to drive. Like, if you think if you take away an extra defender out there, it's basically you're playing 4-on-4 if you can spread it. So there's definitely some opportunities to get downhill, but I think for us it's going to help because Oach can set screens. If you screen with Oach and his guys at switching and he's face guarding, and there's going to be open driving lanes, and it's harder to guard those screens. So there's things you can do. So without fully like going in depth to it.
Do you have to be careful not to try to force feed him though? I mean, is it,
A little bit. You got to get it to him when he's open for sure, because there's only going to be a certain amount of those opportunities per game, because face guarding does take away a majority of opportunities. But Oach is a player where if he gets those, say he gets 7 looks, he's very capable of making 7 of those shots. So there's definitely an opportunity for him to be successful while being guarded like that.
Did you guard Tanner in the first game at all?
Down in Oklahoma, I had guarded him a couple of times. He's a very talented big guy. He has the ability to stretch the floor, picks and pops, and picks and short and does these little short rolls and stuff like that. So there's definitely a couple of things that he does that is different than other big guys. So like I said, lock into our scouting report and got to make sure we adapt to what they do.
I remember Coach talking about he missed a lot of open looks that first time.
Yeah.
Which obviously, the last time you played him, he didn't do. Have you looked back at why he got those looks, or how fortunate you guys might have been with?
I would say like, a bunch of them came off those ball screens, and when you have like when you're down, so when you're down a ball screen and the big guy is there and he has to plug the gap until the guard gets back in front, it can be a little bit harder to get back to the big if there are a shooter. So like, and he is a shooter. I mean, he makes those shots. So we can't depend on him missing shots. So we got to make sure we get back in front of the driving guard first, and then the big guy's got to get back as quick as he can. And then it helps I can bluff, but you can't bluff off of Gibson. So there's certain things that you gotta understand going into it.
Are you at the point you'll be fired up for every game because of the standings?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of drive because of the standings. This team wants to be remembered here as one of the really good ones. So, if not great ones. Also, you got a certain amount of home games left, and things are starting to come to an end. So, we got to make sure lock into each and every one of these.
Anything up? Thanks, Mitch.
All right, you guys.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
So.